This a war zone. Army fatigues on. Nothing to sleep on. Ghost recon. In this sanctuary, all precautions necessary. This game is legendary. God and Abram keep us ready. Calm before the storm, dropping bombs, Serengeti. Take heed from the Bible I read. You gotta peep me, be you woke, or you sound asleep. Life but a dream. See the schemes of a corrupt system by any means. See the dreams of the poverty-stricken turn into kings. In our leisure, ducking the reed, but copping visas. The jig is up, fighting to live it up. I'm not your prisoner. Don't plan on giving up. Mask off, yeah. They ice grilling, huh? I see they know these words cut with precision, yeah. 100% truth. That's how we give it up. Let's get 100% truth. That's how we give it up. All about the truth. Defenders of the faith. Every time we move, you know we innovate. It's time for you to choose. Before you seal your fate, you catch me on the news. Before I ever break, they don't have a clue. They need to contemplate. We all about this truth. Defenders of the faith. Every time we move, you know we innovate. It's time for you to choose. It's time to analyze, mobilize, and strategize. They send the boys in blue every time we fraternize. They shadow ban the lines. So much surveillance for my assailants. These crucial times, they won't be satisfied till publicly we crucified. I sip this red wine until my eyes are red, and then I go to war against they dark prayers. Shake off the cobwebs. It's power in my dreads, going full-fledged. Make it eat a bed. I smell the desperation. Rebuke your wicked plans. I remember facing death. We shall live again. The Lord told me, speaking truth, you must be militant. We staying well equipped, cerebral, cause them devils lethal. Trying to snatch a nigga's soul through a bloody needle. I get more angry by the day, but I'm staying real. Can't forget to ski. You must have got amnesia. You better call on the heavens if you get a fever. I am my brother's keeper. Time to evade the reaper. All about this truth. Defenders of the faith. Every time we move, you know we innovate. It's time for you to choose. It's time for you to choose. Shalom, Israel. It's your boy New Breed coming through with another live stream. Welcome to another broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, on this beautiful Sabbath evening. As you enter the chat, make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way in. If you like that particular song right there, it's called Time to Choose. It is my song. I am the artist on the song. Artist name, I am New Breed, and you can find that song on New Breed Music and Motivation. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very pertinent discussion for this evening. We're going to talk about those who have been blue-pilled. We got to talk about this because there's a lot of us who follow this particular platform who have decided to take the red pill. There's a lot of people who decided to awaken from the slumber. We awakened from the simulation. We were willing to digest that pill and have our complete reality distorted from what we once knew. And before the whole world was under the same program, we were shaken at the core when we took that red pill. It was a crazy moment in our lives when we began to wake up spiritually. We witnessed everyone around us reject us. We witnessed gang stalking, neighborhood mobbing. We witnessed harassment, isolation, shaming tactics. We've seen people do smear campaigns against us. We've seen a lot take place, taking that red pill to enlightenment. Understanding that the world is spinning on a broken axis. And everything that we thought to be true turned out to be a lie. And it was difficult for us.
And the whole world had the same option that we had, but instead of taking the red pill, they took the blue pill. Now, that blue pill, it's interesting what happens when you take the blue pill. I'll let you hear it from Morpheus' mouth himself. Yeah, Morpheus from the Matrix. I'll let you hear it from his mouth because it makes so much sense what he said. And I know it's just a movie, but when you relate it to reality, what's going on right now in modern times, it makes a whole lot of sense right now. I'm just gonna play that quick clip from the Matrix. I'm not gonna play it on the screen for copyright purposes, but I want you to listen to what Morpheus says to Neo when he wakes up out of the Matrix, or when he's given the option to wake up from the Matrix. I want you to listen carefully, and I'm gonna share my dialogue about this one.
At last. Welcome, Neo. As you no doubt have guessed, I am Morpheus.
It's an honor to meet you.
No, the honor is mine. Please, come, sit. I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole?
You could say that.
And isn't that how we all felt when we begin to wake up? Some of us came from different avenues and backgrounds to get to this enlightenment, to this awakening, this biblical truth. Understanding that everything that's happening in society right now is of biblical proportion. But wasn't it agonizing when we were all waking up, and some of us, we were studying what they call now conspiracy theorists. Some of us were just reading books. Some of us always felt like something just wasn't right. Even as a child, we were distant, withdrawn, wondering like, what's going on with these people around me? What's going on with my environment? Why do I feel like something is missing in my life? Everywhere I go, everything I do. Why do I feel this ominous presence that something is being conducted in the background? Why is it that I feel that way? What is happening? Why is it like something is being hidden in plain sight? And it was like a crucial transition, because as you was waking up and you was learning, you were seeing certain things that will cause the average person fear. It will cause the average person fear, but instead of you being afraid of truth, it actually began to set you free. Because when you first learned about martial law coming, which we right on the cusp of it, if you look at what's happening in the world, it's only a matter of time. If you're looking at things like internment camps, Walmart being turned into FEMA camps, if you look at what the Lord God Almighty is doing to the earth, earthquakes in various places, typhoons, hurricanes, active volcanoes, and you just looking at everything that's going on in the world, the average person would be afraid. Once you begin to recognize how angry the Lord is at the earth, most would be afraid, but you didn't turn back and say, I don't want to know anymore. Although it was rough, you kept on going. You kept on learning. You kept absorbing. Not out of the spirit of fear, but just wanting to know.
I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he is expecting to wake up. Ironically, this is not far from the truth. Do you believe in fate, Neo?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
I know exactly what you mean. Let me tell you why you're here.
And ultimately, we are in control. We can either serve the Most High God, or we can stay asleep and serve Satan. Although subconsciously, we know there's something dark running this earth, without a shadow of a doubt.
You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain.
But you know you can't explain. We all had that feeling like we knew something for a long time that we just could not explain it. Till this day, it's hard to put into words the feeling that we had before we even came fully into the truth, or at least 100% invested in being active towards the truth, because we still don't have the full answer. But we're invested 100%.
But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind.
You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind. Don't we know the feeling?
Driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Matrix?
Do you want to know what it is? The Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window, or with
the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm is all around us. There's always something going on. There's demons. There's angels. There's a presence at all times, ladies and gentlemen. And there are deep battles going on. I mean, if we can see these battles with the naked eye, we will fall on our faces to know the type of battles that take place in your atmosphere. It's a hidden world. And a lot of us loners, when we get into silence, this spiritual realm is intensified. When we get in isolation, the spirit and the spiritual realm and the spirit of the Most High becomes intense on a lot of us. And we can feel the presence of the angels, the demons, all of it. We can feel the battles.
when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo.
And that's what it is. This world, no matter where you go, it's an overwhelming feeling that something is wrong. And the reality of it is, we're slaves. We're slaves to our own insatiable appetites. We're slaves in this modern day workforce. We're slaves to our own thoughts, our own lusts, our own ambitions. We're slaves in a system where nothing is free and there's no ownership. You really don't own anything. Everything is a mere mirage. Life is a shadow of things to come. It's a mist. Then you float in the wind and then you on to the next realm. This life is just a test. And you are literally enslaved in these mortal bodies. these mortal bodies that are corruptible, easily destructible. These bodies that get sick, these bodies that hunger, that thirst, these bodies that always desire something for fulfillment. And we realize that we've become slaves. But look at what can set us free. The truth. We're carnal beings. Ever since sin entered this earth and Adam and Eve trespassed against the Most High, we've been relegated to this lower state. We've always had this battle of flesh and spirit, and it's continual. Our soul gets tired sometimes fighting the flesh. Our flesh wants to overcome our mortal bodies. Listen.
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
A prison for your mind.
Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
Red pill, blue pill, suspended in time. It's like an understatement telling people to open their eyes.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and you believe whatever it is you want to believe. Ladies and gentlemen, your friends, your family, your comrades, your associates, your co-workers, and everybody else around you, more than likely, they took the blue pill. And they've been given over to a strong delusion. They believe nothing but lies. The truth can be so apparent, evident. It could be so direct. They chose to accept lies, but it's for several reasons. Several reasons. The number one reason is they love sin. They love it. They love wickedness. They love evil. The day is over where people can tread the fence and be lukewarm. No. We have to make choices in life. It's time for us to choose, like the song said at the beginning. It's time to choose. It just so happened that a lot of people choose Satan. And I know that's hard for you to wrap your minds around because we're talking about people that you may love. People that you may love with all of your heart work for Satan. Let's listen carefully.
You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland.
It says you wake up in that bed and you believe whatever you want to believe. You stay in Wonderland. Listen, everybody that see what's going on in politics, geopolitically, everybody who see what's going on in the world, ladies and gentlemen, they know that Satan is behind a lot of this legislation that's being passed. They know it's Satan, but they literally chose to believe what they want to believe. You don't get no more delusional than choosing to believe something that's not true. You got actors like Will Smith, and they believe in Scientology, and they have all these just completely asinine beliefs and theories and ideologies and etymologies when it comes to religion, where they believe they literally will channel something with their mind. They believe that they can channel reality. This is what these people think. This is called being delusional. That's just like I pick this phone up here and say, this phone is not black. This phone is red. Now, everybody who is woke, right? Everybody who can see, everybody who has logic, everybody who has the spirit of the Most High, right? The example would be, you can clearly see that this phone is black. Just like you can see if a man is a man or a woman is a woman. There's no lines of gender being skewed. You can see what's what because you see reality. But if I was to hold this phone up and say this phone is red, and I kept saying it over and over and over and over again, and every time I show you this phone, in your mind you believe that the phone is red, although it's clearly not. That means you've been programmed. And that's what the Matrix is. That's what the television is. It's a program. It's MK Ultra. It's mind control. It's psychological mind games. Let me proceed.
And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Now, if you take that red pill, I'm going to show you the truth.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. So once you get this truth, whatever you decide to do with it, it's up to you. But just know, as the scriptures say, if you get this truth and you choose to do opposite, if you choose to oppose this truth, it was better off that you didn't even know, right? Ain't that what the Bible tells us? It's better off you didn't even know the truth, because now you're going to be held accountable. Absolutely. Omarion is on it. That's John 8:32. Thank you, my brother, for sharing that. Now, the scene after this is my favorite scene of the whole movie, The Matrix, which I'm not going to play that. But the scene goes into his awakening itself. I mean, he falls into this pit. I mean, he's sliding down there. They putting him in all these type of incubator type of machines. And he's going through this transition spiritually. And he has all these tubes in his nose and mouth. And they have him in this sleeper cell. And then he wakes up, right? But then when he wakes up, he sees everybody else still asleep. And that's the place where a lot of the Most High's people are. You done jumped out of the sleeper cell. You done put all the tubes out of your nose. You are completely, you can see. You can see all the hoax, all the propaganda. You can see it all, clear as day. And it's like, you looking around, you looking near and far. And everybody else still in those incubators, sleeping like a baby. And it's not easy to digest that. It's very difficult to digest it. It's difficult to deal with the facts that most people don't want to see. They love Satan. They love doing the work of the devil. They love the sin. They love feeding their mortal bodies more than their spiritual body. And now they're going to believe whatever they want to believe. So what does that make you as a friend, a family member, somebody who's in their inner circle, someone who may be dwelling among these people? What does that make you? What does that make you? That makes you an enemy. Because you are a constant reminder that that truth exists. You are a constant reminder. Just your presence reminds them that what we call reality is not the full spectrum. This person messes with my conscience. They mess with my everyday goings. They want to come and tell me about the laws of the Most High. I don't want to hear that. I want to be what I want to be. I want to do what I want to do. I want to continue to whoremonger. I want to continue to do drugs. I want to continue to eat the abominable foods. I want to continue to celebrate the holidays that make me feel good. Because all year round, I feel like a slave. All I do is work for the system. The holidays come, I want to feel good. And this person is here to bother my existence. So now people, they hate you for telling the truth instead of hating those who told them to lie. They hate you for telling the truth, but they don't hate the ones who lied to them. Right? So how do you deal? Tonight, when we open up the lines, we're going to talk about how to deal. And that's what we want to talk about. I want to hear different scenarios on the call-ins this evening, which we're not getting there yet. We still got scriptures to go through. When I open up the lines, I want to hear about certain situations that you in. And I know a lot of people in your inner circle, in your family, a lot of these people, they probably don't watch my channel, more than likely. So since that's the case, you could tell me exactly who the person is. You don't have to give names or anything, but you could put it out there where that person is. And I'm going to give you my advice on whether or not you should hold it or fold it. Because as righteous people, we got to focus on our soul salvation and not get caught up in those who may be enemies. All right. So that's what we're going to do when we open up the lines. I'm going to allow y'all to speak y'all's minds dealing with people who refuse to awaken. All right. If that's not what you're calling for to speak about that, please refrain from calling in. All right. Now, I hope that was specific enough for you. They have been blue pilled, ladies and gentlemen. They have been blue pilled. There's so much going on in the world that they refuse to accept. A lot of these people who've been blue pilled happen to go for the blue side. Now, what I mean by that is the Democrat or the liberal side. That's the blue side. You got the red corner and you got the blue corner. That actually signified red pill, blue pill. Democrats and Republicans actually signified. It's all symbolism with these people. Donald Trump, you can say what you want about Donald Trump. Now, we already know, I put this disclaimer out several times, I personally don't care for politicians at all. I understand that they're figureheads. But you can say what you want about Donald Trump. He did tell you the truth. He said it in the way he wanted to say it. He said it in a way that was allowed. Let's make that clear. He said it in a way that was allowed by his predecessors because he was being used. Whoever calling in, the call-ins do not start now. I already done said that. Now I'm going to block that number. So you got red pill, blue pill. You got red corner, blue corner. You got Democrats and Republicans, right? The red would have been the truth. The blue would be the delusion. Most people took the blue. I truly, at this point, I don't think personally that those votes were stolen. I don't. I think they put that out there to make that a narrative, but I don't think that it was any robbery going on with the election because I understand that people are dead sleep. People are in a slumber. Donald Trump was used as a Manchurian candidate. He was used as a trigger word. They told you all types of things about Trump that was never even proven. The media spent so many narratives with Donald Trump, but it was done on purpose. All right? I think people legit was triggered by Donald Trump. Now, when you hear the word Trump, right? Where else do you hear the word Trump? You hear it in the Bible, right? When the trumpets are blown, right? Trump, triumph, trumpets. So he was a representation. He was a figurehead. He was a Manchurian candidate. He was supposed to represent the red pill for the world to take. Although he was being used through a Hegelian dialectica. But that was absolutely right, DJ Tatted. The last trumpet. That was a warning. Let me tell you something. In The Simpsons, back in the day, to show you the predictive programming, if you go back, they told you he was going to be elected. They told you. He was used. You go back, I believe 2 decades ago, 10, 15 years ago, look up Fresh Prince. Donald Trump on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He had like 3 lines in that whole show. And one of them was, everybody always blames everything on me. He said that in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Everybody blames everything on me. It was all staged. He signified the red pill. The world don't want to be red pill. The world don't want the ugly, bitter truth. What they did was they made Trump a reflection of what America really is. When he came into office, grab her by the yay. Hey now. Grab her by the cho-cha. What? Yeah, we like that ratchetness. Donald Trump being ratchet, pulling these. Puerto Rico, being disrespectful, throwing paper towels at Puerto Rico. Yeah, people like that ratchetness. He was a literal reflection of the people. People didn't want to see their own reflection. People didn't want to see a racist, capitalistic, primal culture. People didn't want to see that. They wanted to see liberation. People wanted to be freed from all their worries and troubles. So what do? You take the blue pill. You take the blue pill, right? Let me tell you what the blue pill got the whole world. Let's go to these sources here. For those who don't know, Joe Biden chess. This man, over the course of the last 3 days, have put out 30 executive orders. Now, of course, all of the orders were not accepted or approved or reversed. But basically, he's trying to undo some of the things that Trump did. But a great amount of them, I believe it's 17 out of 30 of them, were actually reversed. Now, I'm just going to skim through a couple of them. I'm going to CNN Politics. I'm going to skim through some of them, just a few of them, so you can get an idea of some of the things that he reversed from what Trump or the Republicans had in place. All right. Now I'm in CNN Politics. Before I read some of the article, let me play some of the commentary on the audio. And hit the thumbs up button, ladies and gentlemen.
Fight against the pandemic.
We will get through this. We will defeat this pandemic.
The Biden administration.
Clear. Things are going.
I want you to know what this particular article is labeled. It's called Biden Signs Wartime Action on COVID, including new mask mandates, quarantine for intel or international travelers. So, hey, the war on COVID is number one on the agenda. Actually, I would more so say trans liberation and the liberation of the LGBT seem to be number one based on how he moved. But I would definitely say that this seems to be number two. It's top priority. from my observation. But let me go ahead and play.
Going to continue to get worse before they get better.
On President Joe Biden's first full day in office,
He said they're going to continue to get worse as things continue to get better.
a singular focus, the fight against the pandemic.
We will get through this. We will defeat this pandemic.
The Biden administration unveiled
I'm going to go get some water real quick, ladies and gentlemen.
a raft of executive actions designed to centralize the federal response and bolster its effectiveness.
To a nation waiting for action, let me be the clearest on this point. Help is on the way.
One that includes new uses of the Defense Production Act to surge supplies, development of advanced therapeutics, data collection, and the establishment of a pandemic testing board, as well as new actions to extend masking requirements during interstate travel on trains, planes, and buses. One that includes new uses of the Defense Production Act to surge supplies, development of advanced therapeutics, data collection, and the establishment of a pandemic testing board, as well as new actions to extend masking requirements during interstate travel on trains, planes, and buses, and a key symbolic focus, reestablishing trust in the federal government.
Reestablishing trust in the federal government. When you look at that, I want you to pay attention to some of the wording of this article. It says Biden signs wartime actions on COVID. Now, we were just beginning to get a lot of our troops back home from the Middle East. I'm hoping that war doesn't ensue, because we haven't had war in 4 years, ladies and gentlemen. You realize that? We have not had war in 4 years. And if you look at some of the things that's taking place in society right now, it's almost like wartime. It's almost like wartime. I mean, think about it. You got travel bans in certain areas. That's literally, those are sanctions. Those are war sanctions. So it's like, I'm hoping that it ain't more war to ensue, but if it is, the Most High's people will protect it. It is what it is. I wouldn't recommend anybody from my diaspora participate. All right.
The idea that you can get up here and talk about what you know, what the evidence, what the science is, and know that's it. Let the science speak. It is somewhat of a liberating feeling.
But the problems facing the nascent administration are significant, sources say, with Jeff Zients, the White House COVID response coordinator, saying bluntly, quote, "What we're inheriting is so much worse than we could have imagined." Biden echoing that point.
Well, of course, they're gonna demonize the last guy. But look, let's just skim through some of these. I'm only gonna skim through the ones that were actually reversed. I'm only going to skim through some of these executive actions that ended up reversed, all right? And I'm going to be brief with this. So far as the economy goes, he restores collective bargaining power and workers' protection for federal workers and lays the foundation for $15 minimum wage. Now, when it says $15 minimum wage or lays the foundation, what does it mean to lay the foundation? You can either make minimum wage $15 or you're not. I mean, that's just all wording to me. Lays the foundation. Look, pay the people. Pay the people. Now, of course, he restores collective bargaining powers and workers, protection for federal workers. For federal workers. So if you're working for them people, you got a little bit of a longer reach when it comes to collective bargaining. And having protection over workers. So that's one thing that he reversed. I guess Trump, when he came in, he wasn't a politician. So his protection for federal workers, he's a businessman. He's thinking about America as a corporation. So he can care less. He's looking at numbers, because numbers talk. So that's what you were seeing under the conservative side. Let's go just over a couple more. All right. Another one was overturned, reversed, that Trump had. Stops the United States withdrawal from the World Health Organization. Yeah, look, Trump was about to withdraw from the World Health Organization. The WHO, and I know all about them For those who don't follow my channel and seen some of the videos I've had removed because of the WHO, people basically, this platform being afraid of the WHO, trust and believe, I know all about it. And listen, the moment when that inauguration happened, that moment where it was declared that Biden was the president, some of my videos just got snatched off. They got snatched right on off, all right? It says, stops the United States withdrawal from the World Health Organization with Dr. Fauci becoming the head of the delegation of the WHO. So, hey, there goes Fauci. So now Fauci, he's head of the delegation. All right. Donald Trump was trying to pull out the World Health Organization. Hey, your boy Biden, he stopped that from happening. Now they got power. They got power over what people say. And if you're not a medical physician, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a content creator and you are not a medical physician, don't you say a damn thing about this virus from a medical perspective. Don't you say nothing. Nothing. Learn from me. Learn from me. All right, let's see what else he got. What else was overturned? Okay, environment. Rejoins the Paris Climate Accord and process that will take 30 days. I have no idea what that is. If y'all know what it is, inform me. The Paris Climate Record. Paris Climate Accord. I don't know what that is. It's probably some global warming nonsense. I don't know what that is. Anyway, another environmental change. Cancels the Keystone Extra Large Pipeline and directs agencies to review and reverse more than 100 Trump actions on the environment. Now, who knows? I don't trust what none of them do with the environment. I follow the Bible. So when the Bible tells you to tend for the soil, care for the earth, and she'll care for you, that's how I look at it. You take care of the earth, you stop all the lasciviousness, the sin, the perversion, the anarchy, the chaos, the lunacy, then guess what? The earth will stop moaning and groaning. The water won't be filthy. If you stop poisoning and putting all these gases in the air, listen, the earth will take care of us. So whatever they do with environment, it ain't working, because I don't know about y'all. Within the United States, anytime I travel abroad, internationally, anywhere I go, I can breathe clearly. I mean, I could take deep breaths. When I was in Jamaica, I can breathe. When I came to America, I felt like I was suffocating. So whatever they doing with the environment, it ain't working. It just ain't working. Let's see. Okay, as far as equity goes, let's see with the equity. Whoever's calling, I'm just gonna block your number until I say it's time to open the lines. And then you're gonna lose, just not being patient. You're gonna lose your opportunity to call in because you're not being patient. Come on now. Patience is a virtue, y'all. Okay, so what else we got? With equity, we got rescinds the Trump administration's 1776 commission direct agencies to reshore the actions to ensure racial equality. Who knows what they're doing with the 1776 bill, that the one that Trump, I guess, rescind. Listen, anything that was etched in stone, anything that was already concrete regarding our rights and regarding racial equality, I mean, they ain't changing nothing. They ain't changing nothing. They're gonna move how they move. Anyway, they got certain things regarding immigration, and I'm gonna move on to some scriptures here in a little bit. As far as immigration goes, reverses the Trump administration's restrictions on U.S. entry for passport holders from 7 Muslim majority countries. All right. So now it's going to be more Muslims coming over from 7 countries. Now, let me explain why they did that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are Black, Latino, Native American, Hispanic, so on and so forth, they're going to be giving your jobs away. They're going to be giving your jobs away. This is how I see it. If you allow all of these foreigners to come into the country, then they reap all the benefits of the so-called minority. So that's what it looks like is happening, and he's already taken action to do so. If we're already having a lack of jobs, then we kind of know what to expect. But anyway, that's all I'm going to show right now. I don't want to get too political in this particular stream. I just wanted to show you that a lot of things have been overturned. I don't know if you agree or disagree with them, but I can tell you now, it's red pill, blue pill. And a lot of the people around you, they took the blue pill. They took the blue pill, and they're not going to see. No matter how much news airs, no matter how many abominations take place live on your television set, no matter how much sexual liberation and just plain old wickedness is aired, the people, they're so prideful and arrogant, they're going to die with their decisions. They're going to die with their decisions. They're going to spend eternity in the hellfire because they want to chase liberation here on this earth. Let me tell you what's going on, man. Let's talk about this Biden executive order a little bit more. It says, and I'm going to the White House. I'm going to the whitehouse.gov real quick. I'm going to the whitehouse.gov, and it reads, and this is briefing room right here. Executive orders on preventing and combating discrimination, the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation. Here we go. It's about to get real weird, people. It's about to get real. It's about to get flagrant out here. By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States is hereby ordered as follows. Just listen carefully. Section 1 policy. Every person should be treated with respect and dignity and should be able to live without fear, no matter who they are or whom they love. Man, just listen to the wording of this. Now, that sounds so appealing to the ears, right? Sounds like it's out of the spirit of kindness, fairness, equality, right? Oh my, how they tickle their ears. Now, you just got to pay attention. No matter who they are or who they love. I truly hope that doesn't mean Mambla is going to be getting rolled out. For those who don't know what Mambla is, that's the Man-Boy Lover Association. Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah. So, you know, and right after this sentence here, it says children. It says children right after. It says children right after. It says every person should be treated with respect and dignity and should be able to live without fear, no matter who they are or whom they love. So that means that men who love women, who are heterosexual and proud of it, we shouldn't be able to hide our masculinity. We shouldn't be in no type of fear, ladies and gentlemen. And this is via White House. All you brothers who love women, you should be able to let your nuts dangle. Let your nuts swing. Be a man. Now, and we shouldn't be ashamed. That means, listen, there shouldn't be, every time you compliment a woman, somebody is coming with some cameras in tears like, yeah, he just looked at me strange. He groped me. No. He said hi. He tapped you on the shoulder. Yeah. That means it shouldn't be rape for a man to say hi to a woman and say she looks beautiful today, right? Because, I mean, last time we had the left side in the office, that's what we was putting up with. I mean, we had Russell Simmons. He got, I mean, every prominent black figure was accused of rape that year. It's like, damn. You had Russell Simmons, that Me Too movement, when it hit, it struck. So hopefully, not to go into a rant, Hopefully, this means equality for us too. All right, for men. It said children should be able to learn without worrying about whether they will be denied access to the restroom, the locker room, or school sports. Oh, man. I ain't going to say much more about that. I already went over there earlier. I mean, it says they shouldn't worry about having access to restrooms. I mean, how many children y'all know are in an uproar about not being able to walk into the opposite sex bathroom? Where are these children? Where are these children? Do y'all know these children who are so pissed off because they can't walk into the opposite sex bathroom? Do anybody see that? Anyway, all right. I don't know. Will be denied access to the restroom, the locker room, or school sports. Adults should be able to earn a living and pursue a vocation, knowing that they will not be fired, demoted, or mistreated because of whom they go home to be. Because how they dress does not conform to sex-based stereotypes. Sex-based stereotypes. So let me ask, I just love clarity. I just love clarity. Is it okay for a woman to go to work with a G-string on? Now, she's not a stripper. She's not a stripper. I'm talking about she works in, let's say she does social work. Yeah. Or let's say she works in McDonald's. She works in she does essential work. She does security. I mean, just listen to this broad wording. Is it okay for her to just walk, wear a thong to work? I'm not talking about underneath her pants. I'm talking about straight ass cheek going to work. Because listen to what it says, y'all. Will not be fired, demoted, or mistreated because of whom they go home to be with. Nobody cares who you go home to be with. Nobody ever cared who they go home to be with. Managers, listen, I've been a manager at every single job I worked at. Every single job I worked at, not once did I give a damn who went home with who. All I cared about is the work getting done. That's it. It says, because how they dress does not conform to sex-based stereotypes. If a woman come to work with a thong on, it's going to be hard, to stop sex-based stereotypes. It's going to be hard. They're going to be like, yo, what's going on over there? It says people should be able to access healthcare and secure a roof over their heads without being subjected to sex discrimination. Sex discrimination, so broad. All persons should receive equal treatment under the law, no matter their gender identity, sexual orientation. Anyway, it goes into all kinds of laws, all kinds of memorandums, all types of policies. As we went over earlier, within 100 days, they're talking about allowing gender neutral sports for high school and college. I mean, this thing is if you choose not to see now, that's who you elected. That's what you put in the office. I'm going to show all these people what they put in office. That's what you did. Now, okay, ladies and gentlemen. Romans chapter 1, verse 27. And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust, one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of the error which was meet. These are the times you living in. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. They're not convenient. It's not convenient to set up a system this way. The Lord said that these people would have a reprobated mind and they would set up a system that was totally arbitrary to sound logic. Things that's just inconvenient. It's inconvenient to have men and women in the same locker room. Not that it has anything to do with discrimination. It's just inconvenient. It's inconvenient for a grown man to be with another hairy ass grown man like, hey, I like you, dog. I like you too, dog. That man ain't, listen, that's another man, bro. Their body is not designed to deal with your body. Your body ain't designed to deal with their body. It's inconvenient for a woman, which has a hole, right, to deal with somebody else who has a hole, right? Total craziness. It's inconvenient. The Bible calls it inconvenient. You work in which is not convenient. It's not convenient. What's convenience is what works. A woman's body is designed to be trying to be careful with my wording here. I'm trying to be careful with my wording. It says, and even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. It's just not convenient. It's not convenient to put women on the same basketball court as men and allow them to play together. Like it just doesn't make sense. And again, I've said earlier, I don't want anybody to be discriminated on. When we talk about discrimination, I don't care what a person's sexual orientation is. They should still be able to have the pursuit of happiness. They should still be able to, get a job. They should still be able to work hard, build a life for themselves. Everybody should have that opportunity. But damn it, this is inconvenient, the type of system they're trying to set up. It's inconvenient. It says they will be given over to a reprobate mind. Let's read that again. Romans chapter 1, verse 27. And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the women. You're going to have men who leave the natural use of a woman. All these damn homies over hoes type of dudes out here who really, they done gave up on women. Instead of being a teacher and a leader and showing these women what it is and actually having love for them, you got a lot of these guys out here, they lost the natural affection for a woman. And that means on more than one way. That's not even just meaning they're going to be homosexuals. It also means that they're going to smash them, disregard them. They're going to become whoremongers. They're not going to give a damn about women. And it is what it is. And it just so happens a lot of women, they're the same way. They don't care either. Everybody is just dealing with everybody. It says, and likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lust one towards another. Oh, man. Men lusting after another, man. Burnt with lust towards one another, man. The Bible's being graphic about this because that's what the hell's happening. That's what's happening. Men with men working that which is unseemly and receiving in themselves that recompense of the error which was meet. Hey, it's happening. 28. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobated mind, a delusional mind, a sick mind, to do those things which are not convenient. So now they live in a lifestyle that's not convenient. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers. That's what happens when you take the blue pill. That's what happens. I'm telling you, we're in those days. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians. chapter 10. And with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. They all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Man, isn't this the truth, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't this the truth? Let's read this again. I want this to really marinate. And with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. They don't love the truth. The same love of the truth that you had, brothers and sisters, when you took that red pill, when you decided to fall down that slippery slope that we call the rabbit hole, to actually study, research, and show yourself approved. The world wasn't willing to do that. The world wasn't willing to do that because they don't love the truth. You did it because you love the truth. Sometimes teachers, leaders, and I mean leaders of the family, brothers and sisters who have unplugged from this matrix, people who have woken up. Sometimes we ask ourselves, and we get fatigued, we get tired, and we ask ourselves, why do we continue to go against this oppression? Why do we continue to fight against the status quo? Why are we continuing to push forward? It's because we love the truth. We love it. The Most High God has possessed us. Yeah, when you hear the word possess, you normally think of a demon. Every time you hear the word possess, somebody think of a demonic possession. No, the Holy Spirit possesses you. Possess only means to take hold of, to grab, to embody. We possessed by the Spirit of truth. And the Bible tells us the truth will set us free. It says, and for this cause, God shall send them a strong delusion. They don't love the truth, so they're going to believe a lie. And they're going to perish for it. Ain't nothing you're going to be able to do about it. Nothing whatsoever. And I know it's difficult because you love these people. But they don't want to wake up. They won't wake up. We got to focus on our own soul salvation. And you know how the Bible tells us, if these days haven't been shortened, if these days ain't shortened for the return of our Savior, no flesh will survive this madness that's going on in the world. We're going to open up the lines. That's what we finna do. We finna open up the lines. And again, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't opened up the lines in a long time. I want everybody to mash the thumbs up button. I can't wait to build with y'all. I decided to open the lines up tonight. Normally, it's only exclusive for Patreons, but we're going to do this tonight. And if you call in, I want your testimony in regards to people who have been blue-pilled. People who have been blue-pilled, I want you to tell me the circumstances of that situation. And I will tell you, from a biblical perspective, whether or not you need to continue fighting for that person, or you need to get out of that situation and fight for yourself. Because there's a lot of people who inbox me and they ask me, like, what should I do in this situation? In some situations, it's time to move on. In some situations, it's time to fight. Hold on one moment, Texas. Try calling back in one more minute. Let me get myself set up here. And if you gain an edification in this stream, again, hit the thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. We got Utah in the building. Utah, you're on the line and you're live.
Yeah, I just wanted to say you have been such a help in my awakening to the truth. I don't know where I'd be if I hadn't seen your videos over here for a long time.
Oh, praises.
Your situation that you spoke about feels like the exact situation I'm in right now. I broke up with my last girlfriend because I got to this truth and I didn't know what to yeah, I didn't know if I should continue to help her or if I should just try to work on me. She really cares about me, and she said that she would like to learn and stuff, but I don't know if her intentions are in the right place. I'm just kind of confused on what I should do.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When it comes to this truth, have you decided to honor God's law, statutes, and commandments?
Absolutely. I told her that there's a lot of things I'd have to change that would have to change in our relationship. She grew up totally worldly. She's never grown up religious or anything. So it'd be a concept I'd have to completely start from the beginning to try to explain it from her.
Right. So it's right at the beginning stages. Well, definitely at the beginning stages, you don't want to just cut things off without her understanding. But here's the thing. Sometimes we put the cart before the horse, and it's certain things that we haven't learned ourselves before we introduce it to our significant other. Let me give you an example. Are you familiar? Let me just ask you this before I give you an example. Are you familiar with the holy days in the Bible?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay, well that's fine. That's fine. So would you say that you're in the beginning stages yourself of this truth? Okay.
About a month.
Okay,
about
so
like a month or 2 months.
So a month is not a long time. A month. So you're in these beginning stages, and I know how it is, brother. Trust me. When you first wake up, it's like all this information is exciting. You learning all of this stuff, and you're looking at the world from a whole new perspective, and you're looking at it from a more spiritual vantage point, and you're gauging everything, and it's exciting because you want everybody to see it immediately, and it just doesn't work like that. So what I would say is continue to follow the videos. I would say study also to show yourself approved. Read your scriptures. And as a man, if this is the right woman for you, and as a man, you will become a stronger leader, a great leader. If she's the woman for you, she's going to follow you everywhere, brother. That's how it works in relationships. If she's the one, and you're learning this truth, and you want to get rid of pagan holidays like the Christmas tree, get that out of your house, and all of those type of things. If you're doing what's right by the Most High, and that woman is right for you, she's going to do right by you. If not, the Most High is going to remove her. She's going to leave herself. You won't even have to worry about the question, because she will literally leave herself. But if she desires to stay with you and be with you, and she cares for you, and she's willing to follow you and your beliefs, then you have a good one.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Absolutely, brother. Hopefully that helped you out, brother. Thanks for calling in. I'm going to get to a couple more calls.
Appreciate it. All praises to the Most High.
All praises. Have a good evening. Peace.
You too.
Absolutely. See, and I'm pretty sure that call answered a lot of questions. Right. Shalom, North Carolina. You're on the line and you're live.
Wow, that's crazy. Second time in a row, man. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Hope you're doing well, man.
Doing well.
Shalom, bro. All praise to the Most High for this moment. Honestly, I want to make this short and succinct. I had a feeling I would be on here, but I really didn't think so. And apologies for the deep breath. I just got done doing some push-ups. But,
no problem. No problem. Pace yourself.
Honestly, I want, because I was really going to just make this about my parents, because I know why we're calling in tonight. But I honestly feel like with the situation that's going on now, it's probably too late for them. So I just want to focus this question on my generation. I believe my generation is called Generation Z. I believe we're probably the last to either continue this matrix or to end it. And I want to know, at least from your perspective, do you think it might be too late for us to change? Because
let me tell you
the
something.
People that I have in my immediate environment. Wait, what was that?
No, that's a good question. I'm going to tell you just like this, brother. You got some young and old fools out here. When it comes to the red and blue pill analogy, everybody had this choice. Everybody had this option, whether they young, old, no matter what generation they came from. I mean, you're gonna have people. Even the Bible says that out of the mouth of babes you will hear the truth. So you're gonna have people. Listen, people in your generation, you already on the right track of truth. So we're all sprinkled through, all demographics, all ages, all nationalities. People of truth are just sprinkled through everywhere, through all categories. And so, no, I believe that the body of Christ is very vast. But I will say, when it comes to what you call Generation Z, this is the time where, I would say that y'all got to go against a lot more. There's a lot more that y'all got to face. I mean, you got children born right now who never seen nobody in public without a mask on. And that's tough. You got children born now who have all they seen is social distancing ever since they've been alive. And that's that. So, it's more obstacles. Satan he's putting more pressure on the world because he know the day of the Lord is at hand. So it's all about souls and Satan running out of time trying to collect as many souls as he can. But at the end of the day, people from all generations, ages, demographics, they're going to wake up to the truth. And those going to be the people who getting the seal of the Most High. Everybody else going to have the mark of the beast, the seal of Satan. That's just how it's coming. And the mark of the beast is not necessarily physical. It is physical, but it's also a spiritual mark too that a lot of people already got. A lot of people are evil to the core, brother. Of all races, all nationalities, all ages. Evil to the core, won't change. They're like dogs going back to their own vomit. They're sick. They love sin. They don't want to serve the Most High. So just that's the answer I got for that question. Hopefully that answered you.
No, sir, you did. You really did. I want to say this before I leave because you really just sparked this within me. And this is an epiphany I had earlier with myself because I have to do this to really stay sane. Man, people are choosing to walk around with demons instead of their angels. We all have angels and we all have demons. Like you said,
absolutely.
Everyone's choosing the demonic path.
Yep.
We should. We're choosing the righteous. I thank you for your time, man. I hope you have a good night. I appreciate your words.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
All praises.
All praises.
Have a good one, man.
You too. And the brother's right, especially his generation. They talking about these rappers now, demon time. All they talking about is demon time. So he right about that. They walking around trying to exercise their demons. No private numbers. No private numbers. Texas, you on the line and you're live.
Yo, New Breed, what's going on, man?
What's good with you, brother?
Nothing, man. I'm doing good. Hey, I'm so surprised to be live, to be honest with you. Hold on one second. Let me switch. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Awesome, man. My name is Darby. I've been watching.
Hold on, bro. You're going in and out. It was actually better when you first answered it.
You hear me better now, G?
It's going in and out, bro.
New Breed.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Better now?
I'm gonna have to play. I'll try calling back, brother. We got a bad connection.
New Breed. Can you hear me better now?
Hey, I'm sorry, brother. I know you was excited to be able to call in, but that was a bad connection. Sorry about that. New York, we on the line. New York, you're on the line and you're live. Did we lose New York? Okay, Florida. Florida, you're on the line and you're live. All praises, brother. So let me brief you on the topic. Let me make sure everybody's on one accord with what we calling in about. That you have people in your circle who have took the blue pill. If so, where do you stand with them and what type of advice would you like? You're on the line and you're live.
I just try to tell them stories out the Bible.
So
I tell them stories out the Bible, and they kind of like, and I could tell their mind be working right, but it's just that they be kind of like somewhere that's too caught up in their ways, and sometimes I just kind of like say, nah, I can't go too far with them right back, because they ain't,
So you giving them baby milk pretty much, right?
Yeah, but
Nothing wrong with that.
It'd be mostly about the effort. You feel me? Because I feel like if you hungry for something, you gonna want to know. You gonna ask questions. If I don't feel like you asking me no questions or you want to pursue this or whatever the case may be, I'll just sure, like I wouldn't even talk to them more about the situation or whatever the case may be. But it's a lot of people. I'd be surprised about how many people do be interested and be wanting to know, like. And another thing too, man, I can't believe I'm on the line. I just tried to get over on YouTube and call out and came through. All praises to everybody else. Everybody have a blessed day and be safe. And all praises to you too, and Breeze doing your thing, man. I tune into you every chance I get. By the way, y'all sing y'all blessings for me. Pray for me. I got a fight coming up February 13th. I'm pursuing a boxing career.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All praises to the Most High. The Most High is with you in that, warrior. Thanks for the call in.
All right, take care.
All right, peace. Nah, but the brother's right, man. Like, if people don't show interest, because that was kind of his concern, that when he teaches, you know, people not really showing the interest, so he don't go that far with it. You know, I would say, tell them about the channel. Bring them on over. Bring them on over. Ontario, you're on the line and you're live.
Yeah, shalom, brother.
Shalom. How you doing, family?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well.
All right. Down here from Ontario. I'm actually from Toronto. And just to recap, tonight we're speaking about how the people in our circles are taking the blue pill, right?
Yeah, we're talking about people who have been blue pilled.
Blue pill.
Listen, let me reiterate for the everybody watching. There's been a lot of people who've been sending me emails, and they've been saying things like, "Hey, my family member, they can't see this is happening, that's happening," and a lot of people are operating in a vein of being frustrated. I'm seeing that a lot. And some people just don't know when to hold it and when to fold it. So I specifically wanted to open up the lines this evening for people who have questions like that, because I get those so much that I want to be able to give some advice from a biblical perspective, whether or not you should walk away, go worry about yourself, deal with your own light, nourish your own gifts, or should you continue with these people? So what I'm looking for in tonight's calling is it specific family members that you have questions about? Is it friends you have questions about? And I can give you some advice whether or not you should sweep the dust off your sneakers and shake the dust off your shoulders and keep it moving. Because a lot of people have a hard time understanding when to walk away or when to stay and help.
Sometimes it can be hard because sometimes we're thinking with our emotions and not what's best for us, and you know.
Absolutely.
I definitely like to say that this topic is very fresh right now in my life. So I'd like to say that recently I had to cut ties with a girlfriend of mine because, you know, she wasn't trying to walk with God like I am. You know, I plan on dedicating my life to God, you know? And, you know, I learned something, and I'd actually like to share this with everyone else that's listening on the live right now.
Okay.
I was trying to push her in the direction that I'm trying to go in with God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't realize that I was pushing it on her because I didn't want to. I didn't want to have to cut ties with her, so I wanted her to walk the path with me. Mm-hmm. And deep in her heart, I realized that, you know, through her actions, by her fruits, I realized that she didn't want to walk that path, and I was just trying to push it on her, but that didn't come from her. I realized that people truly in their heart have to choose the Lord. It has to come from you. And I was trying to push that on her. And I realized that she chose the world and she didn't want to walk with God.
Absolutely.
So let me ask ties with her.
Let me ask you
God
this.
bless her.
Hold on. Let me ask you this. What would you say? What was she doing that was opposing the Most High or opposing your walk? Was it anything she was doing in specific that you would consider a hindrance to your walk? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Is the connection right though? Is it a connection all right, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, you know, it was definitely, you know, signs coming from every direction.
Okay.
You know, her family coming from a background of, you know, a mother who practices witchcraft, you know, that was already a red flag, you know, and you know, she was pushing me the wrong way. She wasn't, you know, the Bible speaks about, you know, this virtuous woman and how, you know, she's supposed to be a blessing in your life. You know what I mean? She's not supposed to, you know, she's not supposed to be a worldly. She's supposed to add to your life. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And she was just influencing me, you know, to do the wrong things, man.
Okay. You don't gotta get into specific details, but you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing, moving on, brother. The Lord gonna bless you with the right one. Listen, just let it be known, and this will help a lot of men out here. Brothers, every relationship that you've been in, I know it's difficult because men love hard. We love hard.
Yeah.
Like we genuinely, like women don't understand. Like we are naturally protectors, providers. We're leaders, we're teachers. We love hard. Right. So when relationships end, we take it a lot different from how women take it. But
yeah, and I'd just like to add to that.
Hold on,
you mind if I add?
No, hold on.
Because what you just said was just
just
gold right there.
Let me finish though. Let me finish what I'm saying. I don't want to lose my train of thought here. But I want to say, brothers, you got to understand that every single relationship is an opportunity. It's a learning experience for the next woman. To be honest with you, brothers, it's an opportunity because what you learn from that previous relationship just makes you more strong and fervent as a leader for your next situation. You know what I'm saying? So, brothers, we got to recalibrate our minds. All right. Now, you can go ahead and add, brother, and then I'm going to be brief about it. And I'm going to go to the next call. We got a lot of calls coming in.
Yeah, bless. Yeah, man, you know, the thing about the whole thing, you know, definitely was the thing for me that was most frustrating, like, kind of like how you were saying, like as men, you know, we just have this nature about us, you know, we want to be leaders, and I didn't realize that I was pushing it on her, and it didn't come from her. Like I was trying to see what I wanted to see, but that just wasn't the case. You know,
I understand, brother.
She didn't want to choose God, you know, so that was frustrating for me because, you know, I had, you know, as a man, I had this vision, and you know, I was trying to get her to see that vision, and she didn't want to see that vision, so she won't see that vision because she doesn't want to.
Absolutely.
She doesn't want to walk with God, you know. It didn't come from her.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, brother, because a lot that your call is going to help a lot of people. There's a lot of people in that same situation. I'm going to share a little more dialogue about that on another video, because what you're saying, that's actually a topic. But
yeah, brother.
Honestly. But I'll definitely let me go on to the next call or so. I'll go on to a few more calls. Thanks for calling in, brother. Thank you. Appreciate the call.
Thank you, brother.
All right, shalom. Hey, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. Some people don't love the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. Some people, as soon as you start telling them what's going on and you're trying to live righteous and follow God's laws, they like this. They just like this. Like, no, don't pull me from my reality. Pennsylvania, you're on the line and you're live.
Yo.
What's good?
Oh, what's good, Newberry?
What's going on? What's that?
No problem. Yeah, I'm in the chat. So you wanted to know, like, like what do we think about like the red pill and all that?
No. I want. Listen, y'all. I done reiterated like 4 times what the call-in is about. If you don't know what you calling in to talk about, if you don't get the topic, please save the time. North Carolina, you're on the line and you're live.
Shalom, no breeze.
Shalom, how you doing?
God bless. I have a quick question. I'm not going to be long, but my situation is, well, my situation, I want to know about, I grew up in the church as a Christian, and all praise the Most High, He woke me up, but now that I've been awakened, I'm finding myself with leaders, not trying to persuade them, but just sharing the information. My question for you is, how do you go about when you see people trying to learn or wanting to come into the truth, or you see them applying it, but they're not there yet as far as like saying the name, transferring from the name of Jesus, et cetera, et cetera. That was what my question is. How much time do you put into those people that you see trying to change?
Well, that's kind of what we're talking about in this video. Like, that's the question, that the $1 million question that we've been answering. But we have to know, like, I have to know personally what circumstances they are, because some people, it's about discernment. And that's what we're talking about in this video. But I will have to know an exact situation. And that's kind of what the call-ins is about. Like, if you have a family member who have possibly took the blue pill, right? And they don't want to see the truth. But you may see some type of potential, or they may have some potential. But I have to know the situation and the scenario to tell you if you should walk away and worry about yourself, or you should keep dealing with that person. And I'm only going to say this from a biblical perspective. Nothing I'm going to say, no advice I'm going to give anybody is just going to be from our personal opinion. I'm a line it up with the scriptures say. So that's how we do it. And even like say in your situation, where if you're in a position as a leader and you need to know, and you got a following, let's say, when to shake the dust off. Only way you can find that out is through the scriptures. The scriptures tell you when to leave somebody alone, to shake the dust off your feet and keep it moving. The scriptures tell you when not to cast your pearls before swine. The scriptures tell you when a person becomes an enemy of yours. The scriptures tell you when it's strife involved and you need to depart. So, I like to weigh it through the scriptures and through the text. So if you look up scriptures, yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for your call. Hopefully it helped you out.
You really did. Have a great time.
All right. You too. Yep, we're going to take a couple of more calls. California, you're on the line and you are live.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the line and you're live. Turn it down in the background, though.
Okay, here, all right, sorry about that. Okay, so, all of a sudden my brain went. Okay, so my thing is, I'm 59. And I've always been, I could totally relate to your video on you just feel different and you knew it when you were young. That's how I've always felt my whole life. And actually during this, so I've always been somebody, I was kind of the scapegoat in the family, and it's kind of transferred out into, jobs and different things. And anyway, and actually, I don't really, my family really, we don't even talk. I'm always been like by myself pretty much. And this whole pandemic thing, I'm always was somebody on the internet looking around for things, because I threw my TV out in 2009 because I could see, all the lies. And through time, I painted dots. I want to get to the point because you did ask for the topic. So I actually I already had lost my family, and I've already been alone my entire life, except with my pets. But I have two good friends. One I've had for 25 years, and the other one actually about 10 or 11. And I won't do the mask. I will not do the mask. I will not do the test. I will not do the poisonous mark of the beast vaccine. I'm not going to do that. And so we started getting in kind of this one friend tips about, the mask, and I started seeing things about her and talk about strife. Yeah. And, and pretty much that relationship is done. And then the other friend, she's always been there for me after my divorce and different things. She knows my family situation. But the weird thing is she's good to me, but she's done things that are like retaliatory to other people, like a spirit of retaliation, and then also lying. And I just don't like, I don't lie. I mean,
Right.
I'm sure I have done little things, and I do repent over that. And I want to be on God's good side. I want to be with, I don't know.
No, I totally
I've
understand.
been tying everything into the Bible,
Mm-hmm.
and I see like a lot of stuff, and I try to bring it up with both of those people, and I know they're not Christians. And anyway, so I guess the one friend, I don't even want to, I think I need to stay away from all of them, even including, well, I tried to tell my brother about the vaccine. He doesn't talk to me. He doesn't call me on my birthday. There's nothing. Like, it's Dad, I have nobody. But I was so worried. I thought, well, we're not really talking, but I'm just going to let him know about the vaccine. Maybe he hasn't looked into stuff, and I don't want them to go to hell. I don't want them to not be found in the book of life, even if we don't talk. So I said, okay, fine. I'm just going to, but he didn't care. He thought, well, God loves me anyway. And
okay, so
I'm kind of done with them.
No, let me stop you for a second.
They don't care, and So
Hello?
I guess spirit. I was watching Wally Works.
Can you hear me?
Revelations of Jesus Christ.
Can you hear me?
And he was talking about spiritual amputation.
I don't think she can hear me. No, but she seemed like she's already a loner. I get it. I don't like liars either, and I don't like people who man, she said a mouthful. Like, if you call and you're having a conversation. Massachusetts, you're on the line and you're live.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the line and you're live. Can you please turn it down in the background?
I'm online.
Yes.
Hi, yeah. So I'm calling because I don't have a particular person that is a blue pill. My situation is, with my life being a single parent and the system getting involved with my child, I have to pretty much put on this act of agreeing with everything the system believes in, such as in masks and this and that. And what I want to know is, what is the best way to handle the situation where I just have conflict coming from me at all ends, and I'm just trying my best to work on things the best way. I hope the question is so relevant.
Could you please repeat that last part of what you said, the last question? It's hard for me to hear you. You said you sound a bit distorted. Yeah. What was the question? One more time.
Basically, if you have to work within the system because of your child, what is the best way to do that? Like, if you have to pretend to agree with the system, or basically the blue pill line of thought, if you have to, what is the best way to do that while still keeping what you truly believe?
Okay, yes, I'm gonna get you off the line because I'm hearing feedback, but I'm going to answer your question. So just tune in, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Well, listen, you don't have to agree with the blue pill way of thought at all. Why do you feel the need to agree with them to try to fit in into the system? You have no use to agreeing. Um, you have to choose a side. As hard as it is. I know some people saying that that me hanging up on the sister was rude. That's not what I was trying to. I wasn't trying to be rude. She could not hear me, and I understand people. It's Dolly says, "Come on, New Breed. Some people need to vent. Some people need to vent. Don't go out to hurt a feeling." LOL. That's not what this is about. This is the issue. When I put the disclaimer of what the call in is, you got to understand that this is pretty much radio. You can't call here to vent. That's not the purpose of the calling. The purpose is to help others. You understand? So no, it ain't no some people need to vent. If you're calling a vent, you calling the wrong place. Like, come on now. Some people need to call and vent. No, the people who really need help, that's who need to call in. Jersey, you're on the line and you're live. Shalom, you're on the line, you're live.
Hi, I was just calling in and I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, me and my husband, we feel like we've been kind of chosen to break the generational curse of bad relationships and marriages in our family. And my
That's
husband
good.
had the idea of starting a Bible study with all of our family. Because my dad, he believes in God, but he hasn't fully surrendered. He's pretty toxic and violent. And I just feel like
Who is?
when God wants you to
So I'm sorry.
break generational
Who
curses,
is toxic and
surrender
violent?
to him.
Who is toxic and violent? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Sorry, what?
You said
Sorry.
somebody was toxic and violent. Who? I didn't hear that part.
Oh, my father.
Oh, your father.
My dad.
Okay.
So, my husband thought that we should do a Bible study to bring the family together and just, vibrate higher, get closer to God as a family.
That sounds like a great idea.
Sorry, what?
I said that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, so I just feel like when you're close to God, you just have to be led by God to help people, and you have to be strong in God, and just help people as you can. If it gets a little toxic where it's affecting you, then you may have to stop. But I think as long as you're in God, you are supposed to be used by God as a vessel to help other people.
Absolutely. Thank you for that call, and I highly appreciate it. I'm sure that call helped a lot of people out. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, peace. All right, that's enough calls for today. That is enough calls for the night. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't like to be, I'm not trying to be rude with people. That's not it. It's just things have to be done in order and decency. Man, I see y'all done put super chats in there. Everybody who sent me a super chat, thank you. I appreciate it. Darby's Room says, can you call Texas or Atlanta number back? I need to ask you about my family blue pill religious losing them. Please call me back. I'm sorry, bro. Just catch the next show, bro. I apologize, man. I have a certain amount of calls that I get to. I apologize about that. Somebody said, please delete my voicemail. Oh, let me find out. Rose over here cussing me out on the voicemail. New Breed is finished. Man, it's always an honor to build with y'all, man. Let me get to some of y'all in the chat, though. Match the thumbs up, man. Let's get this let's get the normal likes up. So when the video posts, it fluctuates through the algorithm. I'm pretty sure this video helped a lot of people out. If it did help you, just show your support. No big deal. Somebody said, let me see. I got quite a few comments coming. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for all the love y'all share, man. I appreciate it. Someone said they love gaining edification. Thank you. Much needed advice, man. See, this is heartwarming and encouraging. Seeing all y'all showing the support y'all show. Somebody said, great live. What is your advice for targeted couples? Hey, it's better to be one than two. If you targeted and you a couple, y'all just become strong together. That's all. If you by yourself, then it becomes a real issue. Prissy says, new subscriber here, and I appreciate what you do. Thank you, Prissy. I'm glad you found the channel. All praises. Somebody said, do you smoke weed? Absolutely not. Man. Yeah, thank y'all. Thank y'all for all the love y'all show, man. All right, I don't see too many more questions. I don't see too many more questions in the chat. But thank y'all. Thank y'all. If you want exclusive raw content, I'll be going live from Patreon on Sunday. If you want to see some exclusive raw content, follow me on Patreon. Oh, Marissa Dartez, thank you for the super chat. Love you, sis. Says, love you, bro. The truth makes all us excited about knowing the truth. All praises to the Most High. Absolutely. Marissa Dartez, always been a supporter. Always appreciate your support. And I love you too, sis, for real. And we're going to be meeting someday. I can't wait till the weather break. Hopefully we can get our retreat going. And, you know, we could do some traveling. Shamara says, love the hat. Yes, it's Chosen Child. Chosen Child, this is Rima Word Clothing. Shout out to Yuckanon from Rima Word Clothing, the clothing that ministers. $4.99. Thank you for your super chat. I think it's Demarji. How can I get in touch with you, New Breed, for some advice? I got my email. If you follow me on, most of the time, if you follow me on Patreon, I look at those inboxes. So you can inbox me on Patreon. I also have an Instagram. The link is in the description box. But hopefully this video helped y'all in your walk and your journey. Thank each and every one of y'all for catching this stream. Y'all have a blessed weekend. With that being said, shalom and peace.